moving to the back for this part 2, you'll see the Jumpman is really about dead on identical. You know, it's stitched again. It's a little cleaner the way they actually filled this in with material right here, and it's something that they couldn't do in the 2004, I guess, because that is a gap and that is not cut out. That's just no material there. They didn't fill that in under his armpit. And just the threading, you know, I mean, you can tell that the manufacturing process has actually improved. You get a little bit more bang for your buck that way. Shape of the tabs, they seem to be cut at about the exact same height from what I can tell and feel. You don't have this triangle bump. It's smoother here. Again, just little material updates. 04s were well done. They're just, you know, not hard to beat something that's 15 years old from a manufacturing standpoint. You might as well, because you're paying a lot more to get the retro today than you did yesteryear. So there's that too. And the darker yellow on the upside down Air Jordan. And this one is, again, it's just yellow and yellow contrast. The Air Jordan lettering is a lot cleaner on these. It's almost more like it's stamped in, whereas these it's maybe slightly raised, but then the letters almost look like laces. You know what I mean? They have like that kind of a lace pattern to them, which is a little odd. Probably actually more similar to the originals, but they're not an original pair anyway, so I'd prefer the cleaner look myself. Tongue is very thin on the 04s. It's actually ever so slightly more padded on the retros. Very slight, but it is more padded. You can actually feel it push in a little bit more, and I don't get that feeling as much here. You know, sizing, collars, the material, the terry cloth material is about the same. Not much else to go over there. You can flip over and look at the soles for a minute. The main things that are always stand out on newer retros versus old is the stars. You can get these toe to toe. The star pattern isn't that it's worn. You can actually see all the stars. It's that the stars are physically a totally different shape and smaller. These are raised and larger. It's been like that since, I want to say 2013, 2012, 2013 retros was when that really became noticeable, because the countdown packs do not have that. For the 3s or the 4s, the stars were all smaller then. So besides being worn, they're otherwise exactly the same. You see the Jumpman and the tread and everything is right where it should be. So it seems like pretty good paint on this one. You know, God knows how long it'll last, but it does seem to be fairly well painted. I mean, you see some brush strokes, but you would do that on a repaint anyway, unless you're using an air gun. And I've never bothered to repaint these. If I did, I honestly wouldn't probably paint them all white. I think I'd prefer to go with a black on the bottom half or something and just kind of lessen the white on them. I've never been a fan of how white they are, particularly on the medial side. I don't know, it's just my preference, but it's harder to keep clean, and then they crack, and the cracks show more, and it probably would show less on a black or gray midsole. And I've seen some done by some of my favorite customizers and restorers, and I think they always came out really sharp. I could see some people going crazy and putting yellow on them too, and it probably would still look okay if you're a big yellow fan. I'm not that guy, but anyway, that's about it. So it's kind of a 2-part deal. Due to the limitations of my camera, not allow me to record more than 10 minutes at a time, but just to kind of go over them and see them in their side-by-side spectrum before I call it good. I think they're a pretty well done retro, so I would recommend them if you are concerned about keeping true to form with an original. I think you actually end up with an overall better product here. Yeah, I think they did a really good job. I noticed that difference too, is the pattern height here is distinctly taller on the retro, and I know that tends to be more of an original look, which is probably why this wraps up higher on the toe. It's not quite as sharp as it's been in the past. Like this tends to be kind of more matching the roundness of that, whereas this kind of had more of a triangular look versus that roundness. So a little interesting catch there before I hit the stop button. Anyway, appreciate it. Hopefully this helps you out. Appreciate your positive comments, and you know, happy shoe buying if you decide to grab these, and if you don't, spend your money on something else. I hardly buy any shoes anymore, so this is rare to me. I've been buying dress shoes more than sneakers lately, and I've been fine with that. Got plenty to choose from still on a daily basis to get me around town. So happy to have something new in, but I'm very selective these days, and this was quite a fresh come up to get them for so low and for my favorite size. Which is one last thing I guess I should go over, that the box label is actually the same: cool gray, chrome, and dark charcoal. No guessing about these being cool grays or being charcoal or medium gray or stealth or anthracite, and then them just being called cool grays as a nickname. They are actually cool gray 4s. So that's cool that they kept the colorway the same. This has the added varsity maize for the yellow is cotton there. I just didn't feel like fitting that on the label on this one, but it's otherwise exactly the same. So hope that helps you make some decisions, and if not, hope you enjoyed the side-by-side comparison. Thanks.